What's up, Otakus? Your tour guide here. I just thought I'd jump on and show off my 90s signature collection for Jim Lee. What we're showing off specifically is Jim Lee's 90s signature right there. And this is a special copy here of Darker Image. It's the first appearance of Death Blow. Um, it has also a signature here by Rob Liefeld, one of the other creators on this comic book. And this particular copy we picked up this summer from a seller who had gotten this signed uh, in person by Jim Lee back in 1993 at WonderCon in Oakland, California. So, uh, interesting story about this one. So, we ordered this along with another book, and it had some issues arriving. So, basically, he mixed up the packages, and one got sent to another location, and the other person's got sent to mine. And so we had to get this whole thing sorted out where we would ship the things back. He would re kind of give us refunds and then post them up and then send the books back. Well, again, this gentleman, he was very uh, communicative, and he said he's going to send me some additional books, ask me what I wanted, and we'll show off because, again, those books that he sent, and again, he didn't charge me extra for these extra books. He just threw them in as part of the order, and I'm very thankful to him for that. So, Robert, if you ever get a chance and you watch this video, this is dedicated to you, buddy. All right, so there we go. We got Darker Image, a key book there. We also, really wanted to set out when we did this 90s signature. We wanted the 90s signature on some of our X-Men books. In fact, we wanted a whole collection of X-Men books, which we were able to complete the X-Men 1. And now I'm kind of like thinking about, seeing what other X-Men books we can get signed in the 90s signature. Just would be cool to add to that. But we definitely got lucked out with this one. We have enough. We got X-Men 248, Uncanny X-Men 248 signed by Jim Lee himself. We met Jim Lee. We got our copy signed in the modern signature, which is fine. We got it signed and slabbed. It came back in a 9/6. But it was in first off, it was signature in the modern signature, his current signature, and it was also a direct edition. And I just always thought it would be cool to have the 90s signature and a newsstand. And, again, we had an opportunity to get this off Mercari, and we jumped on it. I think I paid like $25 or $30 for this one. Really got it for a great value. So, absolutely clean copy too. Again, of the 90s signature there on Jim Lee's first work on X-Men. Absolutely groundbreaking milestone edition. All right, so here's where we get into X-Men 1. X-Men 1, we wanted to collect all four connecting covers with the 90s signature. And it took us a while to complete it. In fact, this was the last piece. Actually, no, I take this back. In terms of the connecting covers, this was the last piece. But then we wanted to get the gatefold signed as well. And that was one we were able to, again, complete this summer. Well, last summer, but I replaced last summer's 90 signature with this summer's 90 signature, because the previous 90 signature wasn't truly his 90 signature. It was kind of a transitional signature. I won't get too deep into it, but if you go back and watch my videos from when I unboxed that, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we were able to complete the collection this summer. But this was the last in terms of our connecting covers that we were able to pick up. And this one is a doozy. We got Jim Lee. This one I got for $12. I swear to you, the lady just did not know what she had. She had a quadruple signed Jim Lee Chris Claremont, Scott Williams, and Bob Harris signatures on this cover A edition. That's really cool. And then this is a really nice book as well. This is this particular cover is famously immortalized as the one Jim Lee's holding up when Stan and him are discussing the sales of this book and the marketing strategy behind it. So yeah, that video is just forever immortalized on YouTube as again, their kind of early on engagement as Jim Lee was helping Marvel to really become a comic book star in his own through this through his work on X-Men leading up to this pivotal issue 1. But yeah, we were able to get Stan Lee and Jim Lee's 90 signature on this book, and man, is this just the, is this just I just feel lucky to own this book. I'm sure it's not the only one where both of them have signed, but it is a rare one. So yeah, I feel quite privileged to own this. This is a priceless piece. This is not going anywhere, and absolutely love this. Next, we've got the cover C. If I can get this out here. Cover C. This is just something, just Jim Lee's signature on there. Nothing fancy, no double signs or triple signs or anything of that nature. Pretty cool. And then we have the cover D. Signature right there on the belt. I like that placement, the look of that one. And then this is the one that replaced, we had this, again, so I'm showing you the 90s signature. There is a transitional signature that looks like a cross between this and the modern, but it didn't sit well with me, and plus it had gotten damaged when we got the book, so it was in my collection, having completed the X-Men 1 90s signature, but it just was off, again, with the damage on the corner and the signature just not looking like this signature. I just was like, I don't know when I'm going to run into a 90s signature, gatefold book. But fortunately, this got thrown in. This was one of the books that, again, Robert had thrown in for all the issues with shipping the initial order. So I'm very happy that again that there was an issue first off, and again thankful to Robert for just being so generous with this additional copy. And this actually completes my signature now, because I have the other book, but I've kind of taken it out of the collection for the 90 signature and just added to my other Jim Lee signature books. And this is the one piece that will now stand as the gatefold edition. And the other signature book that we got from Robert as part of the, again, reparations for the inconvenience caused in the delay, he threw in this book as well in the 90s signature. So we not only have all the X-Men 1s signed in the 90s signature and Jim Lee's first X-Men book, we also have X-Men Annual #1 with this iconic team cover here on the annual. And what makes this team cover just pop is our gal there, Psylocke. So yes, having this in the 90s signature was a real treat to add to that. All right, we got a couple more 90s books to show off. Here we go with X-Men 2 as well. So now we have X-Men issue #2 as part of the 90s signature there. Again, Jim Lee was signing a lot of books from this era. So, I wouldn't say the 90s signatures are rare, but they definitely are cooler, I think. I think the 90s signature is much cooler than the modern because it's two strokes. It looks more like Jim Lee. It's you kind of see the I dotted there each time. It's really it really is iconic in terms of its signature design as well. So appreciate having that. All right, and the last Jim Lee. This is the transitional signature I was talking about. As you can see, he kind of adopts one stroke there. It is still sort of like a Jim and then a Lee, but this one I think has more traits of his modern signature. But this was signed in what, 96 or 97, as he was experimenting with how to sign more books more efficiently. And this is kind of where he was landing in the late 90s. And then ultimately, he would transition to this signature. And by the time, yeah, I guess that those kind of look like the same. And by the time, so this was early 2000s when he did the Hush run here. And then, that transitioned into what the modern looks like. So you kind of see the evolution of the signature there. This one's just one stroke. Jeff Loeb signed a lot of books. That's also very non-Jeff Loeb-esque from his like earlier signatures early on in his comic career. The signatures definitely do get a little sloppier. I feel like when they're doing these like large con signatures events, they're just kind of trying to get through as many books as possible. But Jim, he's got his signature down to an art form where he can sign really a consistent, really beautiful signature and do multiples of them in one sitting. So it's a feat to behold. I've watched videos of him signing books, and it's just mind blowing how fast and efficient he is at those signatures. So yeah, I'm not. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you some of the books that we're targeting to get his signature on. Should there be? I know there's CGC signatures every year for slabs. And while I would love to do that, they tend to be very pricey. I think uh, they're about $100, $80 to $100 per signature. Um, and again, it is slabbing a book in the end. Um, we're hoping he comes to Emerald City Comic Con, and when he does come to Emerald City Comic Con, I'm gonna try to do like a 5 book signing package, something around 5 books, 3 to 5 books. So these are the books that we've been kind of intentionally wanting him to sign for a while now. Things that we'll obviously, if it, we'll do another kind of inventory of what we want actually signed, but for all intents and purposes, this is one of the top ones. In fact, this is the top one I want to get signed. It's his cover. We already have Neil Adams' signature on there. I think having Jim's there right at the top would just really complete this piece for me. And this is not something I want graded. Uh, I don't need to have it slabbed, but it's something I definitely want to get Jim's signature there on top to have with Neil's, and it'll be a great piece in my collection as a double signature by Neil. There's Alex Moleth and who's this other guy, Peter Tomasi. They also signed, but those signatures aren't as significant. The duo that I want is again Neil and Jim on an iconic milestone Detective Comics issue. That would just be incredible. We also want to get this signed only because he's actually on the cover. I just think that would be a cool thing to have. But I know a lot of people get this signed, so if worst comes to worst, maybe I'll just buy a copy of it signed already. There are just a bunch of these floating around, already slabbed and signed, and not going for a lot. You know, they go for a couple $100, but I don't know if I want to. We'll see. I kind of want to get more of these kinds of books with a double signature book signed. Like, for example, this one. This is signed by Alex Ross. I think having Jim's signature there as a double signature book on the Countdown to Infinite Crisis, that would be a really heavy hitting book right there. As well as we already have George Perez's signature. Having Jim's there next to his would, I feel like, complete this book as well. This is a really cool cover here with the Earth 1 or Earth 2 Superman and Earth 1 Batman there working together. So, you know, it remains to be seen. There's so many books I want Jim Lee's signature on, but I'm just thinking having some of these these already signed books with his covers to add those first. So obviously we want the Alex Ross, George Perez, and the Neil Adams books as part of it. I think because we have the bandwidth of 3 to 5, if we can add a couple more, this may be the next one we get signed, but those three for sure. But yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for tuning in to my Jim Lee signature collection. I probably will show off the entire uh, collection of Jim Lee signature books at some point. I just have to get an inventory and kind of gather them up before I do that. But hopefully we'll do that soon, and you can see what I have. All right, peace out. See you in the next one.